Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd do a cozy cook and clean with me, and I'm going to be preparing the yummiest chili and cornbread, as well as cleaning inside my home and outside. Enjoy! So today's recipe is made in a crock pot, so I wanted to get that going first to give me a chance to clean while that is cooking. The first thing I'm going to do is brown my meat. I'm using some ground turkey. You can use whatever meat you like. This is just what my family and I prefer. And so I just put a little oil in the skillet, a little bit of salt on the turkey, and then just browned that until I thought it was ready to go. Then I'm going to be moving on to the other ingredients. It's super easy. In fact, you could even just use kidney beans. I'm using kidney beans, black beans, diced tomatoes, some tomato sauce, onion, and then I'm also using some spices. I like to throw in some corn too. That's optional. The corn and black beans are my addition. I just like it better that way. I think it makes it taste so much yummier. Then it's super simple. You kind of just dump everything in the crock pot, let it simmer. I'm cooking it on high for 6 hours. You can also cook it on medium for 8 hours. So just depending on what you're doing that day and what you need. So you're just gonna put all of the ingredients in the crock pot and let it go, and you don't have to think about it. I've also made this recipe with cayenne pepper, and it's really good. It gives it a little kick. You can add it to taste, or if you're going to be serving it to kids, or just if you don't like anything too spicy, you don't have to add it at all. Today we're going to be sharing this meal with our daughter, so we thought we'd skip the chili and just use the other ingredients. And then my husband and I can just add in chili on our own, however we'd like. This is seriously the easiest recipe to make, and one of my favorite things about cooking this way is, besides it being simple, is it fills the home with such amazing smells. I love when the chili is just cooking, and it kind of gets you all excited about dinner and being cozy with the family, sitting around a nice hearty meal. And the cornbread is just going to amplify that because it smells amazing. I also like to add a cup of water to this. I'm just using the same tomato sauce can that I used earlier. I just fill that with water and then pour that in. I just feel like it makes it a little bit nicer that way, but you can do it if you want to leave it really chunky. You can leave it as is and it'll be totally fine. So I'm just setting that to cook, and then I can go off to clean.
I've said it many times, I know I would change my ways, I know for sure. When all the crows decide to meet.
I used to do laundry, all of it, in one day, but now I've been breaking it up into just whatever we need. So I'll do our sheets and towels on a day, I'll do Lucy's laundry on another day, and then our laundry as needed. And I always separate by color and type. But this time I did a wash the night before, I dried it, and it just sat in the laundry basket, which I hate doing because, as you can probably see here, it leaves the clothes super wrinkly. Luckily, we have a steamer for that, so I'm not worried about our PJs being a little wrinkly, but for our other outdoor clothes, we can go ahead and use the steamer and it'll be no problem. But I definitely like to try to take care of the laundry as soon as possible. Luckily, I did have some other laundry that I had done, and I just set aside the hanging clothes, so that did not get wrinkled, which was great. like folding everything this way. I saw it on Pinterest years ago when I had to pack for a trip to Kenya. We were only going to be there for 17 days and we're only allowed one carry-on. So I learned very quickly how to fold small and neatly. So I still do it to this day. It's just so nice. It's also called the KONMARI method, and it's really simple. It just takes some practice. I'm going to link another video that I have where I fold the clothes more in depth, and you guys can learn how to fold everything this way. I literally fold every single item of clothing this way. Sports bras, tanks, it doesn't matter. It gets folded like this, and it fits so much better into our drawers, and it's really easy to find everything. Here's another quick tip. If you fold your PJs into your drawers, I like to fold them into each other like I just did there. It makes it easy to find, easy to take out, and you don't have to worry about getting pairs together. It's already a pair. Next, I'm moving on to our bathroom, and I'm going to start by letting the products work in a little bit. I love using this Clorox with bleach toilet bowl cleaner. I pour that in the toilet bowl, and then I use a little bit on our sink too. I just think it does a really good job at killing any germs. It has soap and bleach, so I really like that a lot. I talk about this product a lot, but I picked it up from Dollar Tree, and I wanted to show you guys how easy it is to replace the sponge part of it. You just pop it in, twist it, and you're ready to go. And then this section here is where you can add soap or whatever products you'd like. I'm leaving it empty today because I've already applied the product to the actual surface itself. Another thing I like to do often is switch out my hand towels. These are something we use on a daily basis, so I think it's important to keep them rotated. So I like to do that a lot. And then I'm also going to be using Windex on the rest of the surfaces. I just really like using this one. I do have another one with vinegar, and that one works great as well. Now I'm going to be using that sponge to clean off our sink. I like to use this only for our sink and shower. That kind of keeps the germs from spreading. If I use it on the toilet bowl, I just feel like that's too yucky, and I'd have to switch out the sponge after each use, so I just think that's too wasteful. But you can choose to use it however you'd like, whatever makes the most sense for you. You guys know your home better, you know your schedule and what you have, so do what works for you. I picked up this soap at one of the cutest shops in LA. My sister introduced me to it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It's French, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because I will butcher it. But I will leave it linked down below because they also do sell it on Amazon, and I'll leave the name of the store down below as well. My sister and I go on many adventures throughout LA. We love looking for cute little places to eat, new shops. We like to try to look for things that are semi on trend, but also just before they get super trendy. LA can be really tough to navigate when you're trying to get to certain spots because of traffic, long lines, and so much else. So we kind of like to find our own spots. The only problem is, like I said, it is LA, and so sometimes they get too popular and we have to move on to something else. But let me know if you guys would like for me to take you along on one of our adventures and just kind of show you some of the coolest spots in LA. Some of them are undiscovered, which is nice, and you guys can always check those out with me. Or if you visit LA, you can come and check them out for yourself. I love using these cotton pads to remove makeup. I just pour a little micellar water on it and it does a great job. So I'm replacing those and then also refilling our Q-tips, and I love putting them both in this container. I picked this up from the Container Store a few years ago and still use it because it is amazing. It's the perfect container for it. It keeps everything clean, neat, and organized. Here's my helper helping me make some chili. I like having her in the kitchen with me and teaching her not to be afraid to try new things. Now that the chili only had a few more hours left to cook, I thought I'd get started on the cornbread. I had never tried this before, but I saw it at Trader Joe's and it was super easy. Here's what the box looks like. It only needed a few ingredients and it didn't take very long to bake, so I thought I'd give it a shot. As you can tell, I don't bake every day, but I promise this recipe is super easy. This one is from Trader Joe's, but there are all different types of cornbread mixes that you can buy at any grocery store or any place like Target or Walmart, and they're really easy to make. Don't be intimidated, even if you're like me and aren't the best cook. Don't worry, I promise this is so good. Your family is going to be so impressed. And it's really worth it to make it yourself just because it tastes so much better. It's fresh, it's warm, it's so perfect, and it makes the house smell amazing. For us, it really helped us get into that fall spirit. So I loved it. This next part, I honestly wasn't sure if I was supposed to keep using the mixer or a spatula, but I went with the spatula and it worked great. It was really easy to combine everything, and what's really cool about this mix is it has real corn in it, so it's not just ground up, but it had real little kernels, and I think that really helped with adding moisture while baking, so thought that was great. And then after doing that, I'm going to use my little hack that I have here. It's not super scientific or anything, but it works really well. If you're doing anything like cupcakes or anything like that, you can use an ice cream scooper and just use that to scoop in your mix rather than trying to spoon it in from the bowl directly. This just makes it so much easier.
Get some rest. I'm by your side. Lay your head on my chest.
I had enough left over to also fill this little pan, and it came out so good. In fact, we used this to have dinner that night, and it was so amazing.
But I'm right here, it's gonna be okay. The world could fall
So next you just bake it in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes on 350 degrees. And I took mine out at about 20 minutes. I probably could have done it sooner because they did come out kind of brown, but I got a little preoccupied with some yard work, which I will show you guys in just a second. One outdoor project I recommend doing every season or as needed is to check your mulch and see if it needs any replacements, if there's any spots where it's kind of empty. So I had some new landscaping that we've been working on, and so there were definitely some bare areas which I wanted to fill in. And then also just some of the areas where we already had mulch were kind of getting a little bit bare. So I did want to fill that in and make it a little bit thicker. This really helps to prevent weeds from spreading and growing. And it just looks really nice and well manicured. So I love doing this. I think it's my favorite thing about landscaping. I am not patient when it comes to gardening, and this is an easy fix. So I like that a lot. I picked these up from Home Depot. They're actually bark nuggets, and I really like this color. I do like the darker color, it's like a deep brown or black almost, but I just think this one is really nice. It reminds me of being at camp, and I just love that.
The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. If all the blue skies fade to gray, we're gonna be okay.
These bags are pretty heavy, and what's really nice is that at Home Depot, they will bring them to the checkout for you if you need, or even to your car, which is the option I went with because I always shop with Lucy and it's a lot to manage, so it's very, very helpful. But I don't mind working with them in the garden. Yes, it's a little messy, but I don't mind. I love, again, that sort of instant gratification. It just looks really cool and it's super easy.
Close your eyes.
After laying that down, I like to go in with a rake and just kind of spread it around. This is great for ground cover, but I've also used other things. We have some rubber mulch in some areas. In our backyard, we used this, which I just love. Again, it just makes it feel like it's camp, but use whatever works for your climate, whether you're doing it yourself, your partner, or gardener, whoever it is. Just make sure to get what works in your climate. We live in a pretty dry environment here in LA. It doesn't rain very often, and this just works really well for us. But do what works for you, not just aesthetically pleasing, but also functional.
The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. If all the blue skies fade to gray, we're gonna be okay. Calm your soul. Hold my hand. Don't let go. I understand. I know it hurts.
Next, I'm just setting out some pumpkins that I picked up from Trader Joe's. It finally cooled down enough to set these outside, and I absolutely love the look. I bought the box from Ross, and it was super affordable. And then this little guy, it got from the Dollar Tree, and it's just a really cute little burlap pumpkin.
The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay.
That is it for today's video. I'm sorry I didn't get a shot of the chili and cornbread. Just trust me, it came out so good. It was way too yummy to stop and take a picture of. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like this content, be sure to subscribe. I post 3 videos every week. I can't wait to see you guys in the next one.